Title: The Day I Was Left at the Altar. Written by Elroi. Novel library. I woke up that morning with butterflies in my stomach and sunlight spilling through the curtains like a promise. Today was the day. My day. The day I had dreamed of since I was a little girl, twirling around in white bedsheets, pretending it was a wedding gown. My bridesmaids were already up, buzzing with excitement, fluttering around the hotel room, adjusting curls, steaming dresses, and laughing like it was any other beautiful morning. I smiled at them, grateful, but inside me was a world of emotions colliding: joy, nerves, hope, and something I couldn't quite name. A whisper I pushed aside. The makeup artist arrived. As she brushed soft tones onto my cheeks and glossed my lips, I stared at my reflection and whispered to myself, "You're about to become someone's wife." My heart swelled at the thought. I thought of him, his smile, the way he held my hand when I was anxious, the time he whispered, "You're the one I've been praying for." Those memories wrapped around me like a veil. I stepped into my dress, pure white satin, delicate lace, and the kind of train that made you feel like royalty. My mom cried the moment she saw me, holding her hand over her mouth, speechless. I hugged her tightly. "He's going to love it," I said. We arrived at the venue a few minutes past noon. The place looked magical, flowers lining the aisle, soft music playing, the guests already seated, turning to smile at the arriving bride. I stayed hidden behind the double doors, waiting for the cue to walk in. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 15. I kept asking, "What's going on?" My bridesmaids exchanged glances. Someone ran off to check. I waited, clutching my bouquet like it was holding me together. Then my sister came back. Her face pale, her eyes wide, lips trembling. I knew before she even spoke. "He's not here." I stood frozen. "What do you mean he's not here?" Maybe there was traffic. Maybe his phone died. Maybe anything but this. But deep inside, I knew. I knew what this meant. That was the moment I knew. He wasn't coming. I don't remember dropping the bouquet. But I must have, because suddenly my hands were empty. And cold. Everything else was a blur. Voices muffled. Faces blurred. The sound of someone crying behind me. But I wasn't crying. Not yet. I was still in the dress. Still wearing the shoes that pinched my feet. Still standing like I was about to walk down the aisle, except there was no one waiting at the end of it. People began to leave, quietly, awkwardly, like guests slipping out of a funeral. A few offered hugs. Some whispered apologies that weren't theirs to give. I nodded at them, said nothing, and just kept standing there. I felt hollow. Not angry. Not even sad. Just empty. Hours passed, or maybe it was minutes. Time didn't feel real anymore. My mom finally walked up to me and placed her hand on my arm gently. "Let's go, sweetheart." I nodded, but my legs wouldn't move. I looked around the room, once so beautiful, now just a room full of reminders. I turned slowly and walked out not as a bride, but as a woman whose world had just split in two. Back at the hotel, I peeled off the dress like it was a memory I wanted to forget. I sat on the bathroom floor in a white robe and stared at the tiled wall, replaying every single moment of our love story, every kiss, every promise, every lie. Why? Why would he do this? Was it me? Was I not enough? Then it hit me, he didn't even call. Not a message. Not a reason. Just silence. And that silence hurt more than anything else. I finally cried. Not quietly, but in waves, loud, broken sobs that echoed off the walls. That night, I let myself fall apart. I needed to. Because tomorrow, I knew I'd have to start picking up the pieces. It's been 7 months since that day. The dress is gone. I gave it away. I didn't want it hanging in my closet like a ghost of a love story that never had an ending. People still ask sometimes, "Have you heard from him?" No, I haven't. And I no longer wait for a call that will never come. Grief has its own language. Some days it whispered doubt. Others, it screamed shame. But slowly, I learned to answer back. I started writing, journaling. At first, just messy thoughts on crumpled pages. Then deeper truths. Little lessons. I found strength in words I didn't know were inside me. I took long walks. Learned how to sit alone without feeling lonely. Took myself out to lunch. Smiled at strangers. Laughed again. I even traveled. Just once. 3 days by the beach. I watched the sun rise over the water, and for the first time in a long while, I felt peace. Not because everything was fixed, but because I realized I was still here, still breathing, still becoming. There's something strange and beautiful about heartbreak. It forces you to meet the parts of yourself you forgot existed. I'm not angry anymore. He didn't choose me. But I finally chose myself. I don't know if love will find me again, but I do know this. If it does, it will find a woman who has already built her own happiness. Not a woman waiting to be rescued, but a woman who rose from the altar with nothing and built everything from within.